is up, lovely people? My name is Roo, and I hope you have a wonderful day today. Today, we are going to be checking out the Genshin Impact playlist called Collected Miscellany, and I'm assuming that these videos will be explaining the abilities of the Genshin Impact characters, and for this video, we're just going to be focusing on MONDSTAT. So I would say next video will be Leeway, and then next one will be Inazuma, and then Sumeru and Fontaine, so on. Yeah, I'm hoping that this will help me out here because I know that there are Genshin Impact players who go very technical with the character abilities, while here I am just pressing buttons and pressing whatever activates the abilities, just basically like how I play in Super Smash Brothers. But you know what? I think it's time for me to get educated, probably. But yeah, let's get to it, shall we? And here we go, starting off with Venti.
A mysterious bard named Venti has recently appeared in the world, singing tales for the city of freedom and romance.
Is it Dainsley that's
MONDSTAT, the
talking?
crown of the north. A free nation with no ruler. This once bitter cold land in the north of Teyvat is now fertile. A blessing left by the god of Anemo, they say. 1,000 years have passed since the god of Anemo left this land. But to me, it has only been half that time.
Okay, it is
Come
Dainsley.
on, traveler, let's go. The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered.
The voice actress is so good
As an
in
archer with the
voicing
power of Anemo,
Venti.
Venti can battle with ease in almost any environment. His versatile attack style and his ability to launch enemies with his elemental skill allow for a high amount of mobility in battle.
Yeah,
His unique elemental burst can pull together nearby enemies,
I really like that
making him a
burst.
strategic character who can both deal damage and control the battlefield.
Yeah, I need to build my Venti.
When Venti is in your party, gliding consumes less stamina for all characters.
Okay, that I did not know. Really?
Needless to say, this skill will come in handy on your adventures.
Okay, I did not know that.
Take Venti along when exploring the beautiful open world.
Okay, I need to keep that in mind. I did
Normal
not know
attacks can
that.
perform up to 6 consecutive shots. The first and fourth shots can fire an extra arrow, while the 6th shot deals greater damage. Hold the attack button to use a more powerful aimed shot.
Yeah,
When
I
fully
figured.
charged, an Anemo-infused arrow is fired and deals even more damage to the enemy. Call upon the wind on which hymns and songs fly to lift your enemies up into the sky.
I need to know this
When
more.
you use the elemental skill Skyward Sonnet, Venti summons a wind domain at the enemy's location, dealing area of effect Anemo damage.
Anemo
Enemies
damage,
are launched
okay.
into the air and fall slowly to the ground.
Slowly,
Hold
okay.
Skyward Sonnet to summon an even larger wind domain around Venti, dealing greater area of effect damage and launching enemies into the air.
And then you
Venti
fly up.
also uses this powerful wind to fly high into the air.
There you go.
Adept use of this skill not only allows you to attack enemies, but also dodge attacks and move around the environment.
Oh, that's actually...
If the
that actually
opportunity
looks good.
presents itself, you can also use a plunging attack from above.
I'm just not that
Wind
smart.
domains can even be utilized to help you get around. After unlocking the talent Embrace of Winds, holding Skyward Sonnet will also create a temporary upcurrent as you fly into the air. By firing an arrow infused with coalesced winds, Venti creates a fierce storm that sucks in surrounding enemies and deals Anemo damage. contact with hydro, pyro, cryo, or electro elements
I'm not good with
causes the storm
that.
to absorb that element and deal additional elemental damage. The
Oh,
storm can only absorb one element each time.
this one was nice. I didn't know that
After
one.
unlocking the talent Storm Eye, Venti's energy will be replenished at the end of Wind's Grand Ode.
I don't use
If
cryo
an
that
element
much.
was
That's
absorbed,
probably why.
the energy of party members of that element will also be replenished. Even
Oh.
though Venti is more than capable of handling different obstacles in battle, strategic party selection and teamwork can help you maximize Venti's abilities.
Isn't that for every character?
First, use Divine Archery to attack enemies from afar and whittle away at their health. Use Skyward Sonic to launch dangerous enemies into the air. Gather up energy to prepare for the final attack. When your energy is full, unleash your elemental burst. Wind's Grand Ode sucks the enemies in and deals animo damage. Use another element on enemies in the storm to generate a swirl reaction.
Yeah, the
Then
reaction's
use
not.
another compatible element to cause an elemental reaction.
It's something I'm not good at.
Causing another elemental reaction brings the battle to a swift end.
And is that
As
arrow
we all
good for
know,
Venti?
poetry and language flow like the wind. Venti captures this spirit in his ballads. Flora and fauna he sings of seem to have a life of their own and transport us to the moon and the stars. This self-proclaimed best bard of the mortal world gets his strength, his
Self-proclaimed.
unwithering inspiration from the wind. But
Ooh.
what Venti seeks in life is not eternal fame for his ballads. Rather, he'd be happy with a cup of wine and a lyre to sing the marvelous stories of the world. Yes, that would make Venti the Bard very content indeed.
Okay, there were a few stuff that I didn't know, and yeah, I'm not good with elemental reaction stuff, so yeah. Ooh, Diluc. Okay.
As the
Yeah.
Dawn Winery's owner, Diluc dominates Mondstadt's alcohol industry. Wealth and information are at his fingertips. Modest and refined, yet quick to act whenever Mondstadt faces a crisis. What caused him to choose this path?
He's cool.
How very curious.
There must be those who dare to pierce the darkness with their light.
I
one
I
who
thought it
wields
for a moment it
pyro
was
and claymore,
Diluc, but it was still Dainsley.
Diluc has perfected the art of violence and dominates the battlefield.
Huh.
With his powerful skills, Diluc causes massive damage with ease and crushes all his foes with fearsome, ruthless strikes.
My first main.
Born a noble, Diluc is well versed in all things swords. With his guidance, no metal ore is wasted in their making. When forging claymores, Diluc recovers a set percentage of the ores used, aiding greatly in your adventure.
Oh, I forgot about
Diluc's
that. I
normal
don't do
attack
that much.
Performs up to 4 consecutive strikes, with the 4th strike launching enemies. Holding the attack button constantly consumes Diluc's stamina to launch swift consecutive attacks, dealing increased physical damage to nearby enemies, and
So
unleashing an
good.
extra powerful attack at the end that launches enemies. Use this wisely to scatter enemy groups and defeat shielded foes. Unlocking the talent Relentless decreases Diluc's charged attack stamina consumption and increases its maximum
Relentless?
duration. Use his fierce attacks to defeat those before you.
Is that the
Using
constellation?
the elemental skill Searing Onslaught, Diluc strikes with his claymore, dealing pyro damage. This can be done 3 times in a row, with a short window of time to connect each strike. But pay attention. This skill enters cooldown if the next strike is not activated in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Using Searing Onslaught in concert with normal attacks allows you to deal constant damage to enemies, while remaining evasive and mobile. Additionally, since this skill deals pyro damage, Diluc can form combinations with other characters, using elemental reactions to deal greater damage.
Verdict.
Surrounding himself in flames, Diluc knocks nearby enemies
I like the
back
Phoenix part.
before gathering the flames into his blade and launching a phoenix, dealing massive pyro damage to enemies in its path. Diluc's normal and charged attacks will also deal pyro damage for a period of time. Dawn has a very large hitbox, allowing it to not only strike airborne foes, but also forcibly
Dawn?
reposition enemies to an extent, making it very strong against groups.
Ooh.
The pyro damage conversion that Dawn provides further strengthens Diluc's attacks.
Is that the Phoenix?
Unlocking the
What?
Blessing of Phoenix talent increases the
Talent?
duration of Dawn's pyro
Okay,
damage
not a
conversion
constellation. What am I
and
saying?
gives Diluc a pyro damage bonus. Diluc is, without question, a well-honed warrior
I think my
who
Diluc is
efficiently deals with any
C2.
task. Now, please witness him in action.
I already did.
He begins suppressing the target
Oh.
with normal attacks, combining it with his elemental skill to deal great pyro damage to the enemy. He weaves between these two attack modes to suppress the foe more quickly, while building up elemental energy. He uses his elemental burst once his energy is full, followed by attacks enhanced by Blessing of Phoenix, defeating the enemy flawlessly. Diluc's explosive, ruthless fighting style and his aloof manner are all admirable traits. But if the disaster from 5 centuries ago were to happen again, if he were to face the same evil that I once did, would he still hold fast to his resolve? This, too, makes me most curious indeed.
Daniel Leaf is a good narrator. And also, that is the more technical way to use Diluc. I just went for it.
There are many remarkable people in Mondstadt's Knights of Favonius. Among them is a small knight who raised the Stormbearer Mountains flat, and whose name has recently become commonplace both within Mondstadt and beyond. When it comes to Spark Knight Klee, there are rumors aplenty. Interestingly, those telling these rumors do so with a smirk and a shake of their heads, joking that even Mondstadt's fish have learned to swim away when they see her.
Oh, is that
Can
what
I come
happened?
with you today? Please? I want to go on an adventure.
Is
Well
that the
known
fish?
as the Spark
the
Knight,
fish thing?
Klee is able to deal continuous pyro
Incident.
damage with her childlike glee and a pack and pockets full of bombs.
Klee
But
the
watch
Glee.
out, as anything near her may be turned to ash in a fiery explosion. Klee loves adventures and is adept at expeditions and gathering. Not only does she know the locations of Mondstadt's unique flora, she may also know where to find a treasure or two. When Klee is on your team, the location of items unique to Mondstadt will appear on your minimap.
Oh, okay. So
When
if
it
you
comes
want
to anything
Mondstadt
explosive,
items, use
Klee simply
Klee.
can't
Okay.
control her enthusiasm. Klee's normal attack performs up to 3 consecutive
Kaboom!
explosive attacks that deal AoE pyro damage. Holding the attack button consumes a certain amount of stamina, and after a short casting time blasts enemies, dealing AoE pyro damage. When Klee is up high, her charged attack can reach enemies even farther away.
Okay.
Also, Klee's normal and charged attacks are especially effective against geo-targets,
My-
making them ideal against enemies with geo-shields,
Oh,
and for
okay.
quickly mining ore.
Oh,
After unlocking
Okay.
the talent Sparkling Burst,
I did not know
when
that.
Klee's charged attack lands a critical hit, some energy will be restored for all party members. Use Klee's elemental skill to toss
Jumpy
Jumpy Dumpty.
Dumpty.
Jumpy Dumpty will bounce 3 times, each bounce causing an explosion that deals AoE pyro damage.
Is it weird for Dainslips to say
On
that?
the 3rd bounce, Jumpy Dumpty will burst into mines. These explode upon contact with enemies or after a short time, dealing AoE pyro damage. Jumpy Dumpty will automatically recharge over time to up to 2 charges. It is effective in dealing with groups of enemies. After Jumpy Dumpty explodes, switch characters and pull enemies together to take advantage of the mines and deal a lot of damage to enemies.
I don't know why that sounds funny
After
to me.
unlocking the talent Pounding Surprise, when Jumpy Dumpty and normal attacks deal damage, Klee has a chance to obtain an explosive spark. When Klee has an explosive spark, instead of consuming stamina, her next charged attack will expend the spark instead and deal increased damage.
Oh!
Klee's Blazing Delight, Sparks and Splash, continuously attacks nearby enemies for the duration of the skill, dealing AoE pyro damage. Sparks and Splash has high damage and attack rate, empowering Klee to deal immense damage while on the battlefield. Klee is able to continuously dish out strong pyro attacks, earning her a role as the firepower of your party. Next, let's look at a battle to experience Klee's incredible destructive capability. In battle, Klee can use her elemental skill and normal attacks to repeatedly activate the effect of the talent Pounding Surprise and use charged attacks to suppress enemies. When her energy is full, unleash an elemental burst to further increase her ability to deal damage. After this, Klee can have fun causing explosions, spreading flames in every direction, and burning enemies to a crisp.
This kid is
When
crazy.
the people of Mondstadt talk about their home, they proudly call it the City of Wind, Dandelions, and Freedom. Perhaps it was Mondstadt's atmosphere of freedom that led the famous adventurer Alice to entrust her daughter Klee to the care of the Knights of Favonius. With this freedom, Klee has had a happy and unrestrained childhood, but all baby birds must leave the nest someday.
Oh,
Hopefully, our little Spark Knight will remain
Oh
just
my
as
gosh.
happy-go-lucky when that day comes, and keep smiling all the way.
she's adorable. If only she doesn't attack slow, maybe I could use her a little more. She just attacks pretty slow to me. Jean! I never use Jean.
When Grandmaster Varka of Mondstadt's Knights of Favonius left on an expedition, his role passed to Jean, the eldest daughter of House Gunhildr. The young acting Grandmaster had become a skilled swordsman through hard work, and works harder still for the sake of the Knights. Self-sacrifice, after all, is the Dandelion Knight's path.
As
She
the
works.
wind continues to blow, so too shall I continue to fight.
Jean has excellent crowd control and support abilities, and can act in concert with others to suppress the enemy. Jean's elemental burst can instantly restore her health, and benefit her allies as well, making her the pillar of any team. Even when cooking, Jean is always concerned with helping others, and can accidentally make extra helpings. When Jean cooks a
Accidentally?
restorative dish perfectly, she has a chance to create
Oh yeah,
two
that's
of
right.
them. All the better to face the battles ahead. Jean can perform up to 5 consecutive normal attacks, dealing physical damage to enemies. Holding the attack button consumes a set amount of stamina, and unleashes a wind-infused thrust that deals high physical damage and launches enemies. Launched enemies
Oh.
will fall slowly for a short time,
Kind of like
allowing
Venti
Jean
a little
to
bit.
control the flow of battle, and give her teammates a chance to perform follow-up attacks more safely.
More like
Unlocking the talent Wind Companion
sword, though.
gives Jean's normal attacks a chance to heal all party members on hit.
Oh,
This
wait.
healing scales with Jean's attack power. Tapping
I
her
didn't know
elemental
that.
skill Gale Blade causes Jean to gather formless wind on her sword and unleash a small storm, launching enemies in the direction Jean is aiming, dealing anemo damage. Holding Gale Blade constantly consumes Jean's stamina, pulling nearby enemies in front of her, and allowing her to adjust the direction in which she wishes to launch them, dealing anemo damage. Enemies launched by Gale Blade will remain clumped together when they fall, making follow-up attacks easier.
okay.
Gale Blade is a very flexible ability. Strategic use of the surrounding terrain will often amplify its effects.
Wind, hear me.
I thought she'd been holding a sword
Calling
like
upon the wind's
this,
protection,
not like
Jean
this.
creates a dandelion field, knocking nearby enemies back and dealing anemo damage.
Oh,
The
I didn't
field
know
also
that one.
quickly heals nearby allies and all party members. This healing scales with Jean's attack power. The Dandelion field continuously heals characters within it, infusing them with animo, while dealing animo damage to enemies who enter or leave the field. Once the talent Let the Wind Lead is unlocked, using Dandelion Field will regenerate some additional elemental energy. Jean can help her team take charge, aid in their attacks, and do great damage through skillful use of her abilities. A well-rounded fighter indeed. Start the battle by using her elemental skill, mop up nearby enemy groups, and build elemental energy. Then use her charged attack to disrupt their movements, allowing your party members to switch in, attack, and deal damage. When your party members have taken significant damage, use her elemental burst at the opportune moment to repel enemies and regenerate your team's health before beginning the next round of attacks to finish the fight. Though Jean may lack
actually pretty
experience,
good.
MONDSTAT has only prospered since she assumed Varka's great responsibilities. Even I, who has seen countless people, must respect her desire to always defend Mondstadt. But unlike most who bear great burdens, this young knight has remained as tenacious as ever.
She works so
How
hard.
is her will molded, and what sustains her edge such that it never wears down? If fate wills it, I will find the answer to these questions.
Daintily admires Jean? That's what he's saying? Okay, Mona, I need to understand more, because she is
The
C5 for
stars
me.
illuminate all mortal destinies, though few have eyes to perceive their meaning. But Mona, an astrologist newly arrived in Mondstadt, is able to read the fates of others through stars reflected in the water. But while no phenomenon is hidden from the astrologist Mona, she struggles often with the minutiae of daily life. It is a most common predicament. The more you seek truth, the more simple joys elude you.
This was ordained by fate. Long had I foreseen it.
Mona has skill that matches her reputation. As a hydro-aligned catalyst user, she masters the battlefield with ease, controlling the situation and creating openings for her teammates to attack. As a student of all things in and under the night sky, Mona also has a strong grasp of weapon construction. In truth, she finds that most weapons are wastefully made. When she crafts weapon ascension materials, she has a chance to recover a portion of the materials used.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Mona's normal attack performs up to 4 strikes that deal hydro damage. Holding the attack button consumes a set amount of stamina and deals area of effect hydro damage after a short casting time.
Okay.
Mona creates a Phantom of Fate.
I didn't know that one.
Water.
Okay,
This phantom taunts nearby enemies and deals continuous hydro damage to them. The phantom explodes when its duration expires, dealing area of effect hydro damage to enemies.
I did not know that one.
Holding the elemental skill button causes Mona to ride a flow of water backwards and summon her phantom. This skill has many applications. The phantom can be used to taunt enemies, making them wet and priming them for attacks from Mona's allies. It can also help her out of a pinch.
Does that work
When
all
Mona
the time?
sprints, she cloaks herself in flowing water, consuming stamina to move rapidly. Ending this skill causes Mona to emerge, getting nearby enemies wet. Illusory Torrent also allows Mona to travel swiftly over water. Once her first passive talent is unlocked, Mona can create a phantom automatically if she maintains this skill for a certain period of time with an enemy nearby.
Talent? Oh, okay.
Fate is upon you.
What does that do?
Mona summons sparkling waves and creates a reflection of the starry sky, applying the wet and illusory bubble statuses onto all enemies in the area. When affected by illusory bubble, weaker enemies will be imprisoned and unable to move.
Oh.
Attacking imprisoned enemies removes that status from them. and deals an instance of hydro damage.
Oh,
When the
okay.
status is cleared, the enemy comes under an omen.
That makes sense.
Enemies affected by an omen take more damage.
Huh.
On the ever-changing battlefield, Mona's capacity for control cannot be overlooked. This astrologist aids her team at critical moments, controlling
she
the
is a
field
support,
and maximizing
kind
her
of.
teammates' damage. As the battle begins, she first summons a phantom. It taunts enemies and lets her switch out, using the opening created to cooperate with her teammates and deal massive damage to enemies. She uses these combined techniques to control enemies, allowing the party to damage them safely.
Okay.
Once the time is right, she uses her elemental burst to entrap enemies and attacks them to trigger damage bonus effects. This way, she can defeat the weakened enemies before her, all in good time.
Okay.
Mona's hydromancy is indeed unique. No one can deny her intelligence and talent. Within MONDSTAT, there are few who possess the ability and a desire to seek truth equal to hers. But beware, O young seeker. You must sacrifice your all to unravel the world's secrets. Can the astrologist Mona truly bear such a burden?
Dang. Okay. Now that I know a little more of her abilities, my opinion of her, which I will not say, has changed a little bit. I'm still sad that most of my 50-50 lost were from her, because now
The
it's
city
C5.
of pastorals, Mondstadt, is as free as the wind.
But not
Even
as bad
an
now.
outsider like Albedo can become chief alchemist of the Knights of Favonius. But on the other hand, his mastery of alchemy means that no one ever would have taken much persuading. Mondstadt was never a nation known for its alchemy, but since Albedo's arrival, the Knights' achievements in the field sit only behind those of Sumeru's top scholars.
Oh, that was a cool
Knights and
interaction.
academics. Not two words that one would expect to hear in the same sentence.
Yeah. Well, he's not gonna say anything?
Instead of leading the charge in combat, the calm and collected Albedo is better suited to providing support with reliable geodamage.
Geo damage
Still,
there.
his skill set allows him to deal powerful attacks, meaning he more than holds his own on the battlefield.
Okay.
Creation is the basis of alchemy. Albedo's knowledge allows him to find ways to improve crafting recipes and make better use of materials. When crafting weapon ascension
Oh,
materials,
yeah.
he has a chance of doubling the crafting output. Albedo's normal attack can combo up to 5 strikes with his sword. Holding the attack button consumes a certain amount of stamina and performs 2 swift forward slashes. Tap his elemental skill to create a solar isotoma using alchemy, dealing area of effect geodamage. A field is created around the solar isotoma. Periodically, when an enemy within the field takes damage, a transient blossom is generated at the enemy's location. The transient blossom scales off Albedo's defense, dealing AoE geodamage to surrounding enemies. A transient blossom can only be generated once every 2 seconds. Additionally, making contact with the solar isotoma causes geoenergy to accumulate, forming a crystallized platform that lifts the character up to a certain height. Only one platform can exist at a time.
This is good for our
Strategic
Klee.
use of the crystallized platform lets you employ plunging attacks in battle
Or those
and
two.
helps you deal with enemies up above. When adventuring, hold Albedo's elemental skill to choose the solar isotoma's position, and use the crystallized platform to get past environmental obstacles more quickly. After unlocking
Yeah.
the talent Calcite
Smart.
Might, transient blossoms deal extra damage against enemies with low health.
Oh, that was majestic.
Crystallized geoenergy bursts forth at Albedo's command, dealing AoE geodamage in front of Albedo. If Albedo's solar isotoma is still present on the battlefield, 7 fatal blossoms are generated in the solar isotoma field, which bloom aggressively, dealing AOE geo damage.
Oh.
After unlocking the talent Homuncular Nature, Albedo's elemental burst increases nearby party members' elemental mastery for a period of time.
Oh. Huh.
Albedo's skill set is a rare and invaluable asset in combat. Creative use of the solar isotoma greatly diversifies the battle, paving the party's way to certain victory. When the battle begins, create a solar isotoma with Albedo's elemental skill. As he and fellow party members attack enemies inside the solar isotoma field, transient blossoms appear and deal damage to enemies, while generating crystalline shields through elemental reactions. Solar isotoma also enables party members to unleash plunging attacks. When energy is full, have Albedo unleash an elemental burst, giving the whole party a performance boost with increased elemental mastery.
I heard he's better with a Geo team, though. That was a nice music.
No one can dispute Albedo's talent, but the source of the knowledge he possesses. It once brought about the destruction of a glorious nation.
Conria?
All that
Right?
most people know of him is his title, Kryda Prince, and that he gained his position in the Knights on recommendation from Alice the Adventurer. Beyond this, the young man is a stranger to them, a complete mystery, and the essence of his knowledge is equally unknown. But I know it well. It hails from Canria, the art of Chemia.
Yeah, see? Even he
Soil
said
and
it.
chalk, the universe and earth, pure dust and the birth of human life. There is no mistaking it.
What
I am
does that
content
mean?
to watch most crises play out from the sidelines. But if Albedo were ever to make a single wrong move, I could not let myself ignore it.
Oh, is there gonna be a Dainsley versus Albedo moment in the future? I don't know. Rosaria.
Mondstadt's
I don't
Church
know
of
anything about
Felonius
her,
has a very
except she is
unique
scary.
sister, Rosaria. Despite being a priestess, she has never been witnessed offering prayers to the gods. Swift of foot and aloof in speech, she becomes active in the darkness of Mondstadt's night. She belongs to a clandestine side of Mondstadt, brandishing sharp blades under the moonlight to strike down intruding shadows. In exchange for the people's freedom and peace, the non-believer is tasked with purging the filth that no light will touch.
Non-believer.
City blessed by the Animo Archon. Sleep soundly.
Pray, not for the gods nor the betterment of others, but for yourself.
Rosaria has powerful one-on-one combat capabilities, and as a wielder of a cryovision, her elemental burst can provide continuous cryo damage, assisting the party with damage output and field control.
I didn't know she
When
had short
Rosaria
hair.
is in the party,
Oh.
she increases the movement speed of party members during nighttime.
Oh,
This effect cannot be applied in domains, trounce domains, or the spiral abyss.
oh,
Rosaria's normal attack performs up to 5 consecutive strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Holding the attack button allows Rosaria to consume a certain amount of stamina to lunge forwards, dealing physical damage to enemies in her path. Tapping Rosaria's elemental skill swiftly positions her behind her opponent. She then pierces and slashes the enemy with her polearm, dealing cryo damage.
okay.
Ravaging Confession can be used to quickly approach an enemy, identify an advantageous position,
Oh,
and
that's the
launch your
talent.
assault. It can also be used to dodge enemy attacks, allowing you to turn the tide of battle. It is important to note that Rosaria cannot use this ability to move behind larger enemies.
Well,
After unlocking the talent Regina Probation, whenever Rosaria strikes an enemy from behind with Ravaging Confession, her crit rate will increase for a short period of time.
oh, that's good.
Lights out.
For her elemental burst, Rosaria swings her polearm
That's
around her,
pretty
striking
cool.
all nearby foes, An icy lance of coalesced frost then strikes the ground, dealing cryo damage. While the ice lance is present, it will intermittently emit a freezing chill, dealing cryo damage to nearby enemies.
Then that will freeze.
Strategically
Yeah.
utilizing the ice lance through elemental reactions allows party members to control or inflict even greater damage upon enemies. After unlocking the talent Shadow Samaritan, when Rosaria uses Rites of Termination, all party members except for Rosaria receive a temporary increase to their crit rate based on Rosaria's own crit
Oh, okay.
rate. Rosaria, throwing herself into battle, turns daytime idleness into the biting blades of winter that plunge into the bones of the guilty. As the battle begins, coordinate attacks with the other characters in your party, and use elemental skills to trigger elemental reactions. At the same time, quickly shift behind the enemy and follow up with normal attacks. When Rosaria's energy is full, use her elemental burst to inflict continuous cryo damage, then leave the field. Use the crit rate increase from the talent Shadow Samaritan to assist the other party members in swiftly defeating foes. Mondstadt's nights are peaceful and tranquil, but in the quiet of the dark, there are those who glimpse a flash of cold steel. This is the dour sister who metes out punishment to protect this place of peace and the sisters who are purity incarnate. Unperturbed with dirtying her hands, she has become a blood-soaked executioner. And having witnessed the cruelty of this world, she can no longer close her eyes and extol the blessings of the gods.
Why did the Mondstadt church accept her
Rosaria,
then?
the most unique sister in Mondstadt's Church of Favonius, never needed redemption from the gods, for she grasped it with her own hands.
Still a little bit scary. Just a bit. But she's still cool. Eula! I'm so sad I lost her in a 50-50.
Ever since the first night of Favonius rid herself of her chains, the winds of freedom have carried the fight against oppression into every corner of Mondstadt. Yet today, among the ranks of the knights sworn to champion freedom, there walks a descendant of the former tyrannical aristocracy. Eula, the progeny of an infamous lineage with vengeance always on her lips, is the captain of the Knights of Favonius Reconnaissance Company. The Spindrift Knight, supremely skilled with her blade. Her
Vengeance will be mine?
controversial heritage leaves many wondering why the Knights would accept her. Perhaps because the songs of freedom woven into the Mondstadt winds first asked, why not?
Ready for reconnaissance.
I'm surprised it's not vengeance will be mine.
Naturally, Eula earned her captaincy with her superior capabilities, masterfully combining Favonia's blade work with cryomagic. She forms frost at the tip of her blade, which she wields with the cadence of a dancer.
Yeah, she
Waltzing
does?
gracefully into battle, she then strikes like a crashing wave.
She does fight
Eula
like a
derives no
dancer.
additional status in Mondstadt from her once noble lineage, but finds herself the victim of a strict and outmoded education. She dismisses what she was taught as pointless pretension, yet is unable to escape its influence entirely, often subjecting herself to meticulous introspection. When Eula crafts talent level-up materials, she has a chance to double the output, boosting the party's adventure readiness.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Eula's normal attack can combo up to 5 strikes that deal physical damage to enemies.
That was graceful.
Holding the attack steadily consumes stamina, while Eula unleashes a rapid string of slashes, also dealing physical damage.
That is similar to
When her
Diluc.
charged attack ends, she unleashes a powerful strike that launches smaller enemies within her range.
Huh.
Tap Eula's elemental skill Ice-Tide Vortex to perform a rapid slash that deals cryo damage. When the slash hits an enemy, Eula gains 1 stack of Grimheart. The effect has a maximum of 2 stacks. Grimheart increases Eula's resistance to interruption in her defense, creating optimal conditions for her to dish out damage. Holding Ice-Tide Vortex causes Eula to consume all stacks of Grimheart and perform a spinning frontal slash that deals AOE cryo damage. If this attack consumes Grimheart stacks, it will decrease the physical and cryo resistance of surrounding enemies.
Oh, okay.
Each stack of Grimheart consumed will convert to an Ice Whirl brand, dealing cryo damage to nearby enemies.
Flood of Frost.
Eula's elemental burst unleashes a mighty slash of her sword, dealing cryo damage to surrounding enemies and forming a Lightfall sword that follows her around.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh.
While the Lightfall sword is present, Eula's resistance to interruption is increased further. Additionally, when enemies are damaged by Eula's normal attack, elemental skill, or elemental burst, the Lightfall sword's energy is charged.
Oh.
When its duration ends, the Lightfall sword will descend and explode violently, dealing physical damage to surrounding enemies.
Okay, the old doesn't look
The
that
damage
boring
dealt
anymore.
increases with the Lightfall sword's charge stack. When
I thought
Eula
it was
leaves the
boring
field,
before.
The Lightfall sword will instantly explode.
But it's not that boring
After
now.
unlocking the talent Roiling Rhyme, when Eula holds Ice-Tide Vortex, if 2 stacks of Grimheart are consumed together, a shattered Lightfall sword is created and explodes immediately, dealing half the base physical damage of the Lightfall sword.
Okay.
Years of reconnaissance company campaigns have honed Eula's instinct for launching surprise offensives. When she strikes, waves of frost and rays of light surge forth like ocean spray. After unlocking the talent Wellspring of Warlust, casting Eula's Elemental Burst immediately grants 1 stack of Grimheart and resets the cooldown of her elemental skill.
Oh. Oh,
The
that's pretty
Spindrift
cool.
Knight's battleground is the shadows far beyond Mondstadt's city walls. Eula's strength is in hunting down her enemy with courage and calculation, striking with her frosty Favonius blade work. In combat, Eula often starts the offensive with her normal attack, interspersing her strikes with the tapping effect of her elemental skill to keep up the pursuit and accrue Grimheart stacks. Next, holding her elemental
That's
skill at an
pretty
opportune
technical.
moment will deal damage to her enemy, while also reducing their physical and cryo resistance by consuming the Grimheart stacks. When Eula's energy is full, unleashing her elemental burst puts further pressure on the enemy and creates a Lightfall sword. Now is the time for a rapid offensive. To charge the Lightfall sword and finally take down the enemy when it explodes.
What? That's pretty cool.
There are those with hatred in their hearts that are able to do what Eula has done. Take the lust for vengeance bequeathed to them by fate and channel it into a
The Luke
force
and
for
Kaya?
self-advancement. For Eula, this has set her down a path
No.
of peace and inner strength. Still, there are others for whom the passage of time does nothing to quell the poison spreading through their souls.
You finally showed up, Daintily.
Only the future will reveal the path they take, but inevitably, it will be a different one.
No, I'm really sad that I lost my 50-50 on her banner. I don't need any more Mona, please. I hope Eula won't get screwed up this time. Mika!
It was good news for the Knights of Favonius when frontline surveyor Mika returned from the expedition. Not only did he come bearing news of his team's well-being, but his presence brings everyone a general sense of security.
Chocobo Kid!
After all, it's always good to have an efficient mapmaker on hand, just in case a certain
Chloe.
someone blows another mountaintop or ancient ruin into oblivion.
Chloe!
All right. Everything's ready.
As the reconnaissance company's frontline surveyor, Mika's primary duties are pathfinding and surveying, and he also has a hand in logistics. A keen observer and a cautious operator, Mika keeps one eye on the enemy's weak points and the other on his teammates' health during battle. By marking useful resources on a map, a platoon can be ready to resupply at any time. When Mika is in the party, the location of items unique to Mondstadt will appear on your minimap, making it easier to gather resources.
Yeah. Is it just to Mondstadt?
Mika's
I
normal
didn't catch
attack
that
can
part.
combo up to 5 strikes, alternating between the crossbow and polearm, dealing physical damage.
That's cheating.
Using his charged
Kidding.
attack, Mika consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way.
I wish there's a little
Tap Mika's
uniqueness
elemental
with
skill
some
to fire a
charged
flow
attack.
frost arrow, which pierces through opponents and deals cryo damage to enemies it hits.
Uh-huh.
Hold the elemental skill button and Mika takes aim at an enemy, then fires a rhyme star flare at them, dealing cryo damage. After impact, the Rhyme Star Flare will rise, explode, then fire Rhyme Star shards at a maximum of 3 other enemies, dealing cryo damage. Additionally, Mika's elemental skill grants the Soul Wind status
There you
to
go.
nearby party members.
That's the one I'm more curious about.
Active party members with the Soul Wind status benefit from increased attack speed.
Oh, okay.
Let's keep going, team.
Mika's elemental burst draws courage from the Knights of Favonius'
Oh, the other one was an
prayers
elemental
to spur
skill,
on
okay.
his teammates, restoring health to all nearby party members based on his max HP.
Wait, he's
and
a
granting
healer?
them the Eagle Plume status.
Oh,
When an active character with the Eagle Plume status strikes an enemy with a normal attack,
Ito.
Mika heals them by an amount based on his max HP.
Oh.
Characters can only be healed in this manner once per set time period.
So what does that mean?
Having a clear lay of the land confers a huge advantage for comrades in battle. After unlocking the talent Suppressive Barrage, the Soul Wind status from Mika's elemental skill has a chance to grant the Detector buff, which increases physical damage dealt by the active character. When Mika's Flow Frost arrow hits more than one enemy, 1 stack of detection is gained per additional enemy hit.
Oh, okay.
A detection stack is also gained when a Rhyme Star shard hits an enemy.
Oh.
Only 1 stack can be gained per shard.
Oh, that's cool.
Soul Wind's Detector buff has a maximum of 3 stacks.
Even
if
that
Mika's
far
elemental
too?
skill is used again while Soul Wind and Detector are still active, these effects are cleared. After unlocking the talent Topographical Mapping, an active character under the effects of both the Eagle Plume and Soul Wind statuses will gain 1 stack of Detector upon landing a crit hit on an enemy.
Oh.
Only 1 Detector stack can be gained in this way during a single instance of Soul Wind. Additionally, the maximum number of Soul Wind's detection stacks is increased by 1.
I should make good use of Mika, probably.
Mika's near constant experience in live combat has molded him into someone his team can depend on. In battle, Mika uses his elemental skill to unleash either a Flow Frost arrow or Rhyme Star flare, dealing cryo damage to enemies and providing the Soul Wind status to teammates. Once active, Soul Wind's Detector buff helps his teammates to rise to the challenges of the battlefield. When energy is full, Mika unleashes his elemental burst to provide an extra level of support to all his nearby teammates, restoring their HP while also granting
music's
them
getting
the
so
Eagle Plume
intense.
status. By healing his teammates via Eagle Plume as they dish out their normal attacks, Mika ensures that they complete their mission and are patched up and ready for the next. To stay
me.
on course, one must have a clear view of the way ahead. This may sound trivial, yet how many walk blindly down their paths? Mika may not
many.
excel at
Me.
speaking, but nothing escapes his sights. As he matures and grows in resolve, he will develop great potential to lead others. Still, despite his remarkable talent, Mika could find his ability to command the respect of others undermined by his lack of self-confidence.
He's too
But
shy.
who knows what the future will bring? Maybe there really will come a day when Mika finally musters the courage to refuse the menial tasks that Varka habitually foists off onto him.
Oh, poor Mika. Alright. As you can see from the title of this video, this character, Aloy, is not part of the MONDSTAT characters. In fact, not even in any of the other regions as well. I'm pretty sure that she's just like some sort of special, very, very limited character banner from what I know. And Aloy is actually from a different game, Horizons, what I know. But yeah, I'm just gonna put Aloy's collected miscellany in the MONDSTAT video, just for the heck of it. But here we go.
If memory serves me right, the last time an Outlander visited Teyvat was centuries ago.
It's not
Imagine
Daintily
my
this
surprise
time.
when I discovered yet another guest during my most recent travels. A machine hunter, an outcast of the Nora tribe. Oh my, I cannot wait to learn more about her and her abilities.
Is the
Let's
narrator
not dilly-dally and begin
Alice?
our research.
Aloy here. I don't know this world, but my arrows are sharp and my bow's ready.
Based on my observations, Aloy is highly proficient with a bow and arrow. She can limit her prey's mobility with the power of cryo, aiding companions in setting up ambushes. Rejected by her tribe since birth, Aloy gained her hunting prowess under the watchful eye of an experienced hunter.
It is Alice.
Like any successful adventurer, hunters never rush into danger. One must tactfully hide and wait to strike. When Aloy is in the party, animals that produce foul, raw meat, or chilled meat will not be startled when approached.
What?
Aloy's normal attack deals physical damage and can combo up to 4 consecutive
Really?
shots. For a more precise
Sorry,
aim
why am
shot
I
with
shocked on
increased
that?
damage, hold the attack button. Aiming will also accumulate frost on the arrowhead, which will deal cryo damage once fully charged.
Oh,
Aloy's elemental skill to throw a freeze bomb in the targeted direction that explodes on impact, dealing cryo damage.
to anyone who played Horizon, is it
The
just like
bombs
that?
contained chill water bomb
when she
that
attacks?
explode on contact with opponents
I don't
or
play
after a short delay,
the Horizon
dealing
game,
cryo
so I
damage.
wouldn't know.
Such an ingenious blasting design. When a freeze bomb or chill water bomblet hits an opponent, the opponent's attack is reduced, and Aloy receives a coil stack, which increases her normal attack damage.
Aloy's pretty useful from the sound of it.
When she has 4 stacks, the coil effect is removed, and Aloy gains Rushing Ice for a set time period, which additionally increases her normal attack damage and converts her normal attack damage into cryo damage. While under the effect of Rushing Ice, Aloy cannot receive new coil stacks. Coil effects will be cleared once Aloy leaves the field for a set time. After unlocking the talent Combat Override, for a certain duration after gaining the coil effect, Aloy increases the attack of all party members. This effect cannot stack.
Ah,
The hunt is on!
ooh.
Aloy throws a power cell filled with cryo in the targeted direction, then detonates it with an arrow, dealing AoE cryo damage. An
That's pretty
explosive
cool.
infused with elemental energy. Remarkable. If utilized in the right time and place, its effectiveness will be indisputable.
I wouldn't know that
A
she
good
drew
hunter can
something.
deliver a decisive blow or hold their own during a long battle. After unlocking the talent Strong Strike, when Aloy is in the Rushing Ice state conferred by Frozen Wilds, her cryo damage bonus gradually increases.
Ooh.
Aloy is a skilled hunter who moves with great precision, like a cat in pursuit of its prey. It'll be difficult to escape her attacks once she locks onto her target. Any foe can be conquered with the joint forces of her and her companions. In combat,
That was
Aloy
filmed
often opens
pretty
up with her
well.
freeze bomb and accumulates coil stacks while her teammates launch their attacks. Once an opponent is hit by a freeze bomb or chill water bomblet, the party's attack will be increased thanks to the Combat Override talent. When Aloy reaches 4 coil stacks, she enters the Rushing Ice state. This makes her arrows even more lethal as they'll pierce enemies with biting frost. Combine this with the talent Strong Strike to constantly increase Aloy's cryo damage during Rushing Ice. When her energy is full, Aloy unleashes her elemental burst that wipes out opponents in the target area. I hope you found my research as informative as I did. As a sorceress, I love making new discoveries, examining all kinds of otherworldly things, and using that knowledge to create something new.
Ooh.
Maybe Aloy and I are more alike than it may seem. Though she plays so many roles in her homeworld, Aloy begins her journey in Teyvat with a clean slate. She'll get to know new places, meet new companions, and reconsider what her homeland means to her. With her survival skills, adventuring in Teyvat should be a breeze.
Why is she watching
If
Flea?
only she'd let me tinker with her bombs a little.
Oh, because of... Okay, I get it now. Dang. Dang. I don't know if Aloy will ever have a banner. But I do like her talent where the animals won't run away from us, and that's pretty cool. Unless if there's any other character that might have that same talent, I'm not that sure. But anyway, that is it for this video. That is basically all of the collected miscellany as of now for MONDSTAT. I have learned quite a bit, and that is pretty exciting. Let's just see if I remember them. So we'll see about that. But anyway, if you have reached this far into the video, thank you so much. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take it easy.